Today we are going to talk about the summary of a powerful book called The Barefoot Investor by Scott Pape. This book is not about boring numbers or difficult financial jargon. It is about real-life, simple money decisions that can completely change your future. Think of it as having a friendly guide who walks with you through the confusing world of money. Someone who shows you that managing finances does not have to be stressful or complicated. It can actually be calm, clear, and even enjoyable. Scott Pape, the author, was once a financial advisor who saw many people struggling with the same problems. Too much debt, not enough savings, and always living paycheck to paycheck. So he created a plan that is easy to follow and, more importantly, easy to stick with for life. In this book, he talks about having control instead of stress. He explains why most people think money is about getting rich fast, but actually, it is about building security slowly. It is about making small, consistent choices that grow over time. The first thing the author wants us to understand is that money is not just about numbers. It is connected to our emotions, our habits, and the way we live every single day. If we are careless, money slips away quietly, but if we respect it, it becomes a tool for freedom. Many of us dream of financial independence. We want to live without fear of bills piling up or unexpected problems breaking us down. But dreams only work when we have a solid plan, and that is exactly what the Barefoot Investor offers. Scott introduces a step-by-step system. He does not ask you to become a financial genius. Instead, he shows how small actions like setting up different bank accounts, cutting unnecessary spending, and preparing for emergencies can transform your life. Imagine the relief of knowing that your bills are already covered. Imagine saving money without feeling like you are missing out. Imagine building a future where your family feels safe and supported, no matter what happens. This book is about building that future, not overnight, but brick by brick, choice by choice. And once you see how simple the steps are, you realize that anyone can do it, no matter how much money they earn today. In this first part of our journey through the book, I want you to simply understand one thing. Money is not your enemy, it is your servant. If you give it structure, if you give it purpose, it will work hard for you. The Barefoot Investor is not just a financial guide. It is like a roadmap to peace of mind. And by the end of this summary, you will know how to start walking on that road yourself. So stay with me as we go deeper. In the next part, we will begin uncovering the exact steps Scott Pape suggests to escape debt, manage your income wisely, and move closer to financial freedom. Let us begin this journey together, one step at a time. Now let's dive into the first practical step Scott Pape suggests. He begins with something very simple but powerful, something he calls setting up your money buckets. Think of buckets like different jars of money. Each bucket has a purpose, and once you divide your income into these jars, you know exactly what your money is doing. This removes stress because the decisions are made in advance, not in the heat of the moment. The first bucket is for daily expenses. This is the money you use for your regular life. Groceries, bills, transport, and basic needs. It is the money that keeps your life running smoothly week after week. The second bucket is for savings. Not the kind of saving where you put away everything and live like a monk, but small, regular savings that grow silently in the background. This is where you prepare for emergencies, unexpected costs, and future goals. The third bucket is for long-term wealth. Here you keep the money that is going to work for you through investments, superannuation, or retirement funds. This is the bucket that makes sure your future self thanks you. By creating these buckets, you stop the most common money problem, mixing everything together. When all the money sits in one account, it is easy to spend without thinking. But when money is divided, you instantly know what you can and cannot use. Scott explains this with very human examples. Imagine you get paid and the entire amount is sitting in your account. You see something online, you buy it, then you go out to eat, and soon the money disappears. But if your spending account only has a set limit, you control yourself automatically. This system does not require discipline in the traditional sense. It simply uses structure to make good behavior easy. Instead of forcing yourself to save, you design your accounts so that saving happens on its own. One of the most important rules the author emphasizes is automation. He says, "Don't rely on willpower. Build a system that works even when you are tired or distracted." By automating transfers into different buckets, you protect yourself from your own weak moments. It is not about perfection. It is about consistency. Even small amounts saved regularly can create a huge impact over time. Scott also talks about the importance of celebrating little wins. When you pay off a small debt or build up your emergency savings, take a moment to appreciate it, because motivation grows when you see progress, even if it's slow. The Barefoot Investor is full of these small, practical tools. Nothing feels impossible because the focus is always on taking the next simple step. And step by step, the stress around money begins to fade away. In the next part, we'll explore how Scott deals with debt and how he helps people escape from the cycle of owing money. Because no matter how well you plan, freedom truly begins when debt is under control. There is one big obstacle that stands in the way of almost everyone's financial freedom. That obstacle is debt. Debt is like a silent chain. It looks small at first, maybe just a credit card bill or a personal loan. But over time, the weight of interest makes it feel impossible to escape. Scott Pape is very direct about this. He says that debt is the number one reason people feel trapped. It steals your income, it steals your sleep, and it steals your future. So what does he suggest? He introduces a simple method often called the domino strategy. The idea is to line up your debts from smallest to largest and then knock them over one by one. Start with the smallest debt. Pay the minimum on all the others, but throw every extra dollar at the smallest one. When it's gone, celebrate, then move on to the next debt with the same energy. Why start small? Because money is not just about logic, it's about emotion. When you see a debt completely disappear, you feel powerful. You build momentum, and that momentum keeps you going until the bigger debts fall too. Scott also warns against falling into the trap of refinancing or shifting debt without a plan. He says many people roll debts together thinking it will help, but it only delays the problem. Real freedom comes when you face the debts directly and remove them one at a time. He even suggests cutting up credit cards. Yes, it sounds extreme, but think about it. If a tool keeps hurting you, why keep using it? By removing the temptation, you stop new debt from entering your life. Another important point is building a small emergency fund while you attack debt. Because if you have no savings, the next problem will push you back into borrowing again. So he recommends putting aside a little safety net before going all in on repayment. This balance is what makes his approach realistic. You are not starving yourself to get rid of debt. You are creating a system that protects you and frees you step by step. And once the debts are gone, the feeling is incredible. It is not just about money. It is about breathing easier, sleeping better, and knowing that your paycheck belongs to you, not to the bank. Debt may feel overwhelming, but as Scott explains, it is only a temporary condition. With structure, focus, and persistence, anyone can break free. The chains that once felt permanent can actually disappear faster than you think. In the next part of our journey, we will look at how Scott helps people build true security. Because once debt is gone, the next step is making sure you never fall back into that trap again. And that means creating habits that protect your future for good. Now let's move into something even more important. Building security. Because freedom is not just about clearing the past, it is about protecting your future. Scott Pape believes that everyone, no matter how much they earn, needs an emergency fund. Life is unpredictable. Your car can break down, medical bills can appear, or your job can suddenly end. Without savings, every problem turns into a crisis. But with an emergency fund, you have peace of mind. You know that you can handle life without running back into debt. Scott suggests keeping at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved. This might sound like a lot at first, but he encourages starting small. Even a few $100s set aside can make a huge difference. The key is to keep this money separate. It is not for holidays, shopping, or fun. It is a safety net, only to be used when life truly demands it. Once that safety net is in place, the next step is insurance. Not the kind of insurance that drains your income, but smart protection that saves you from disaster. Health insurance, car insurance, and home insurance are all part of this safety wall. Scott explains that many people see insurance as a waste, but he calls it buying peace, because one serious accident can wipe out years of savings in a single moment. Another part of security is creating strong financial habits at home. He encourages couples to talk openly about money. Secrets and stress often break families apart, but honest conversations build trust. He even recommends regular money dates. Just once a month, sit down with your partner, share a meal, and go through your accounts. Celebrate what went well and adjust what needs fixing. This approach makes money feel less scary. Instead of arguments, it becomes teamwork. And teamwork is what keeps financial plans alive for the long run. Scott also talks about the importance of protecting your retirement. While it feels far away, time is your biggest asset. Even small amounts invested early can grow into something huge later. He suggests using simple, low-cost investments rather than chasing complicated schemes. Because the goal is not to gamble, the goal is steady growth. Your retirement should feel like a garden slowly growing, not like a lottery ticket. By combining these steps, emergency funds, insurance, honest conversations, and simple investments, you create a shield. A shield that allows you to live your life without constant fear. A shield that lets you take risks, try new things, and enjoy your present. This is the heart of the Barefoot Investor's message. Security is freedom. When you know you are safe, money stops being a source of stress and becomes a source of strength. In the next and final part, we will look at how Scott encourages us to go beyond just security. Because once the basics are in place, it is time to build wealth, live generously, and design the kind of life you truly want. We have now walked through the journey of taking control of money. From setting up buckets to clearing debt to building security, the path has been clear and simple. But Scott Pape does not stop there. He wants us to live fully, to use money as a tool to create the life we truly want. Once your emergency fund is ready and your debts are gone, you can finally start focusing on wealth. Wealth is not just about having more money. It is about having choices, freedom, and the power to say yes to the things that matter most. Scott suggests keeping wealth building simple. He warns against chasing quick wins, risky stocks, or shiny investments that promise overnight success. Instead, he recommends low-cost index funds and superannuation accounts that quietly grow year after year. This approach may not feel exciting at first, but that is exactly why it works. It is steady, reliable, and immune to the emotional ups and downs that often cause people to lose everything. Another important part of wealth is generosity. Scott encourages giving, not only when you are rich, but even when you are just starting to get ahead. Because giving reminds you that money is not your master, it is your servant. It could be helping a friend, supporting a charity, or simply sharing with your family. These acts of generosity make life meaningful, and they also strengthen your relationship with money, turning it into a positive force instead of a constant worry. He also highlights the importance of lifestyle choices. Wealth is not just in the numbers on your bank statement. It is in the way you design your days, the people you spend time with, and the balance you create between work and rest. Scott wants readers to enjoy small pleasures without guilt. Take a holiday, buy that meal, or spend on something that brings true joy. The point of financial freedom is not to live a dry, restrictive life, but to live a rich, fulfilling one. The Barefoot Investor is ultimately about confidence. Confidence that your bills are paid, that your future is secure, and that you are moving closer to your dreams. Confidence that even if challenges come, you have the tools to handle them calmly. When you follow these steps, money stops being confusing. It becomes clear, structured, and aligned with your goals, and the stress that once drained your energy slowly disappears. Scott's final message is simple. Do not wait for the perfect moment to start. The perfect moment never comes. Start now, with whatever you have, and let the small steps build into something life-changing. So, as we close this journey through the Barefoot Investor, remember this. Money is not about chasing wealth. It is about creating freedom. It is about designing a life where you feel safe, happy, and free to be generous. And with these tools, that life is closer than you think.